Hey,
We got to update our graphics to go in live at 6:17 every week
yeah,
Pacific time.
give like maybe
like a
approximately.
like a glove. Yeah, the plus or minus is definitely needed there. Like your Bills, man. Your Bills had to go to overtime. That delayed us getting home, getting home. Hey, we're here. We're gonna make it. We're not gonna give up. So
Nope. That's the only way we really lose, I heard.
yeah, there we go. Welcome to the Sideline Podcast. My name is Kevin Showalter. That is Jared Booker. We are coming at you with episode 68. If you love talking about sports and building community, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Give us a follow on X for more content like this every Saturday at 6:17 p.m. Pacific time. Not really.
Plus or minus, plus or
Plus
minus.
or minus 6 p.m. on Saturdays. So tonight we are reacting. The Seahawks are bringing out the Michael Irvin belts already. We'll get into that here in a second. But yeah, we'll react live to that game, break down the Bills Broncos. Both of our teams are officially out in the NFL. That's kind of a depressing place to be. We'll talk college football storylines, national championship predictions, and two more games tomorrow to predict that the NFL season is coming to a close. I'm pretty sad about that. And college football, we got one more game. So
It's a sad time of year. It really
yeah,
is. This is
it
where
really is.
like everyone should maybe make an appointment with their primary care physician and set up a time to get put on some antidepressants. Um, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. All right. So it's been a couple weeks since we had a TSP walk on, but not because we don't want to continue to do it. We just hasn't worked out the last couple of weeks, but we have one. He goes by at strict. That is not his Twitter handle. We will share that on Monday. My apologies, Mr. Strict, that we did not get that in enough time, but we'll give you a proper shout out on Monday. So thank you for your submission. And here is Strick's TSP walk on for this.
Man, what a run. I've been a Canes fan my whole life, and I remember us being in the Natty, I think 23 years ago. I was 6 years old. So this is the first time in my adult life that I'm going to get to see my team back in the Natty, man. Feels good. As for the game, I feel like it's two great teams. Got a lot of the same strengths. Good in the trenches. Solid quarterback play, and, really just fundamentally sound from Indiana. Got a lot of respect for Indiana, but, I got to go with the Canes. I'm going to go 23-20. They walk it off with a game-winning field goal. Just think that D-line from Miami, led by Ruben Bain, they're gonna wreak havoc all game on Mendoza. Let's go Canes, baby.
So there you have it.
We got ourselves a Canes fan. There's plenty of them.
He was talking about, since his childhood, and I was like, I had the thought of, imagine if you just became a Miami Hurricanes fan like this year. And I know you guys litigated the Michael Irvin, the belts last week, so we won't dive fully into that. But just this is your first year as a Miami Hurricanes fan, and that's the poster child this year is interesting. But he definitely brings the juice, and you guys talked about that pretty well. So why don't we go ahead and jump right into our college football storylines? What you want to talk about here, man? What's brewing on the mind?
Well, so we've got a couple of different storylines that have to do with, the transfer portal's going buck wild. There's people who are declaring for the draft. There's people who maybe they didn't reach their full potential or injury capped them this year, and they're like, you know what, I want to try to run it back, but I'm technically out of eligibility in the NCAA. I want to talk a little bit about Trinidad Chambliss. It came out, I don't know, it might have been yesterday, that he is suing the NCAA for the denial of his petition for a 6th year of eligibility. Is fighting to come back, in your opinion, the right move for him? Do you see only upside there, or do you think that he should just call it and enter the NFL draft?
I mean, kids are gonna. I saw something on X. I think it was of like, why are people ducking the NFL? Was the tweet that I saw, and I think as long as these kids are getting paid good money to be a college football quarterback, when you were on the doorstep of a national championship, like we're going to see more of this, I think. And yeah, the COVID years are long behind us, or should be about behind us. I think there's going to be more of this question marks over eligibility, injuries. I'm not exactly sure of his exact situation, but I think it's the right move. I mean, if he can get paid to be a starter for Ole Miss, or if he's going to go to LSU or somewhere next year, why not? Why not get another year of like in your prime for college before taking that next step to the NFL, especially a player like him where, hey, he's not a one hit wonder, but like this was his first year of like big time football, playing in big games. Like, why not get some more experience? So I don't know. Do you agree, or you think it's the wrong move?
I would agree. And I think a whole nother aspect of this that we haven't really talked about, but it's really interesting when it comes to the transfer portal, it's wide open. It seems like it's open all year. Guys can choose, they can cherry pick where they want to go. The NFL draft is completely different. So you've got guys who are like, they want to re-enter NCAA and play another year because they're like, no, I don't want to go play for the Jets. So it's almost like the CFP bracket where it's like, well, depending on where you land is a number 1 seed or a 1 through 4 seed. Is that actually getting that bye? Is that what you're actually shooting for? And so it almost seems like advantageous for these guys to play well enough to get into the NFL, but to like shoot for a later round pick so you can get on a team that's going to be successful. So I think that some of that is guys just not wanting. I think Dante Moore stated, it's like, I don't want to go play for the Jets, man. So, but if he plays really well next year, he's probably going to land on another team that is middling in the NFL. So I think it's the right move by Trinidad if he can make it happen. I think that he kind of falls in line with some of these other guys that have been granted additional eligibility. So I don't really see a reason why he wouldn't be successful with that. So the right move, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of a quarterback coming back, I don't think there's any issue with his eligibility, but John Mateer announced this week that he is returning to Oklahoma in 2026. I mean, I love this move. I think it's a great move for John Mateer. I mean, if he would have had an amazing year this year, I think he would have been in that number 1 overall pick conversation, and especially a player like him where, hey, if he comes back, he has a great season next year. He could go from a 2nd or 3rd round quarterback to the 1st overall pick next year. So I love this move. I think it's the right decision. Again, you can stay in college, you can get paid, and you can continue to develop your skills. I think that's only a good thing. How about you? Do you love, or hate this move from John Mateer?
I love it. I think it was absolutely the right move. He didn't come back to be safe. He came back because he's betting on himself. Injury capped his ability to really show out last year. And I think that if he can stay injury free on that Oklahoma team, that they're going to be back in the playoff. And so great move by him. Absolutely the right one. Because the injury it threw a wrench into his entire season. So I love that for him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, so I read this today, there 16 team playoff expansion discussion is already happening, and depending on the SEC and I believe the ACC commissioners, it could be in place by as soon as next year, which is just nuts to me. Does this fix anything for you, or are we just making the problem worse?
No, I mean, you're still going to have the 17th and the 18th team are going to be pissed that they didn't get in. I don't hate it. I go back to what we've talked about a couple weeks ago or multiple times on the show of I think the first round bye should get to host a game. And so if you've earned the right, like an NFL model, at least for one of them, like Indiana, they were the best team wire to wire. They should be able to host a game, not necessarily have to fly across country and play in the Rose Bowl. It worked out pretty well for them. But I think that bring that element into it, and it's the scheduling. I don't know how I mean, it's going to be a money grab. They're going to continue to want to sell more playoff games. I get it. There's more teams, but I don't know. I mean, it's going to just create more chaos. But I mean, if you would have expanded it this year and Texas and Notre Dame were in the playoff, like that would have shaken some things up. Like Texas could have probably beaten a couple of these teams. So, it'd be interesting. I mean, it's probably inevitable, but I don't know if it fixes anything is my answer to that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it fixes anything. I mean, it makes Notre Dame fans happy. I think maybe they, obviously they're in if it's 16 teams, but they already had problems filling seats in the 12-team playoff. And then you're talking about we played a video with Dan Lanning a couple weeks ago talking about scheduling and how these games are being stretched out, and you make it 16 teams, and now it's like, how do you fit all that in? So once again, NCAA making it all about money and not necessarily the product. We'll see what happens. Maybe it has a positive effect, but I think they need to put the shovel away. They continue to dig the hole deeper and deeper. And I don't know where the bottom is. So
brace for impact. Okay. I'm not a very big Dylan Raiola fan. But he did something this week that I thought it was almost a certainty that he was going to be the full, like, he just embraces the Mahomes lookalike. I thought for sure he was going Texas Tech and just like, let me just follow the Mahomes path all the way to the NFL and just try to be Mahomes light. I like that he went to Oregon to compete with Dante Moore and to potentially sit and develop. He's a young player. But my question to you is, so as of right now, this recording, January 17th, 2026, both will be playing for the Oregon Ducks. My questions are, who will be the starter? And after spring ball, do you see both of these guys still in the roster? Or is it going to be, hey, best man wins, and then whoever doesn't get it is going to go play for, Tulane or something like that?
I think so. My understanding of the timeline is Dylan Raiola committed to that transfer prior to Dante Moore making his decision to stay, which I think is the right decision for him. It's more about let's finish the job. So I like that decision by Dante Moore, but I think he's the clear starter. I don't think there's going to be much of a quarterback competition. I have not seen the Dylan Raiola that was advertised with recruiters prior to him entering college football. So it would not surprise me one bit if come springtime, once Dante Moore is established as the QB1, which I fully expect him to be, Dylan Raiola is not entering whatever the next portal time period is, and he's off to somewhere else where he can actually start. I just don't the type of person that I think he is based on what we've seen. I don't see him sitting behind anyone and being happy about it. So I think he's thinking to himself right now, WWPMD. What would Patrick Mahomes do? He's got his little bracelet.
But again, I think I don't know. It's hard to say. Like you had some great clarity there of, hey, he made this decision before Dante Moore was coming back. So does that, is that already reading the tea leaves? Okay, he's just going to be entering the portal again. But I like the move to, at the very least, I want to go compete. There's going to be a talented. It's not like I'm going to Nebraska where Heinrich Harburg or whatever his name was, like converted tight end is the quarterback and easy to beat out. Like you're going to a good team with talent, prove that you're the guy. Yeah, look at me. I've come a long way from just hating on the guy to don't hate the player. It's like, I don't like Mahomes. And so if you're doppelgangering Mahomes, then, you're not going to usually get a lot of love from me. Any other storylines you have?
I mean, let's talk about Diego Pavia. Let's talk about Diego Pavia. He is declared for the NFL draft. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. I think he's gritty. He's tough. He is like one of the hardest workers probably in football. And I actually do appreciate that. I don't show a lot of love to Diego Pavia. That's probably pretty clear to anyone who follows our posts. But I think he's a really hard worker, and work ethic matters. I don't know that he's an NFL quarterback. He will probably get drafted, but he's not going to get drafted anywhere high. Where do you think he goes? Does he start ever?
Yeah, I mean, he's not a generational talent like an Andrew Luck coming out, but he – I think he, like you said, the work ethic, like that goes a long way of like, hey, you're going to put in the work. He's clearly a smart guy. I don't know if he's a smart guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a smart guy. You could say because he went to Vanderbilt, but only played there 1 year, like transferred to New Mexico. Like, who knows how smart he is? But I think he's a pretty intelligent guy. And but that work ethic will take him, I think, far in the NFL. So he might be like a career backup, but this might surprise you. But I say bring him to the Eagles. Like Tanner McKee likely getting traded. Now, if they, I don't know, that was a rabbit trail. I saw someone earlier this week saying that the Eagles should bring in the Stanford coach to be an OC and like the connection there. I'm like, I don't want any controversy. So I like Diego Pavia sitting behind Jalen Hurts for a couple of years, if Hurts gets injured, he can go out there, fill in valiantly. I don't think he's a no-brainer, first-round talent, but the short thing is interesting. But there's plenty of short quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I'm curious to see where his athleticism tracks with NFL type athletes, but I think he's gonna land on his feet in the NFL. It might be the Quinn Ewers 7th round. He's gonna need a little bit of luck of the circumstance that he gets drafted into. But shoot, the Browns might want yet another quarterback. The Jets are hungry. Like, there's so many teams that need quarterbacks that somebody's going to take a chance on him, and that work ethic, I think, can take him. And I just think he's a better player in quarterback, and he's got that leadership that I know you don't like the guy, but I think guys will follow him, and especially at the quarterback position, I think that is critical, that guys will follow him. And again, didn't handle the Heisman ceremony correctly. He apologized, but I think the work ethic is there to be a good to okay NFL quarterback. I don't,
he did.
He's not
I
the
don't know
next
that he
John
apologized,
Elway,
man.
but
I think ChatGPT apologized for him, but he knew how to put the prompt in to ChatGPT to get that real heartfelt speech there. I think he's honestly, do you really actually want him? I know maybe we're going long on this specific segment. Do you want him on the Eagles, bro? Like, he is Johnny Manziel light as far as the decision making. I don't know. I just see a lot of nonsense, honestly.
Yeah,
do you need more nonsense in that locker room?
Well, I need Jalen Hurts throwing a touchdown, AJ Brown still on the roster, and then I need Sirianni and Diego Pavia headbutting each other on the sideline, like just celebrating. So yeah, bring him to Philly. I'm all for it. There'll be drama in Philly no matter what happens. So this is a college segment, so I've probably already derailed us too much, but I think it's a good thing he's going to the NFL. I think he's got a chance. So we'll see what the opportunity. Any other thoughts you have on college football before we get into our national championship predictions and preview?
I think that's a great segue, man. We're coming down to the end, and we got a heavyweight fight coming up, so I'm pretty excited to talk about it.
Yeah. All righty, here's our last week of our bracket. At least until they change it to 16 teams like Booker just hinted at. Indiana versus Miami tomorrow night in Miami, Hard Rock Stadium. We're excited for it. Last football game. Oh, it's last college football game of the year. So let's go ahead and bring in Alo and Tyler. And what's up, fellas?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, real quick, I know we're on the on the college talk right now, but breaking news, man. Hey, for the Broncos, I don't know if you guys heard, but Bo Nix broke his ankle. He's done.
Really?
Yeah, on the last play of overtime.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. He's out.
Oh,
wow.
He's out for the rest of the playoffs.
He's out for the rest of the playoffs. He broke his ankle.
that is huge news.
Who's their backup? No, that's a good route. I mean, that's
Sam Ellinger.
Sam
No,
Ellinger. Okay.
Oh yeah. I thought it was
Okay.
Stedham though, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Could they
So he's there
sign
as
somebody
well.
off the street? Like, could Drew Brees just throw off the suit and
Oh, man.
come
I
rolling
know a
back
certain
in?
Dude,
Uncle Philip Rivers, who was doing all right for himself.
Just go right.
Broncos fans are crying. I know
They got to do
that's the worst
something.
luck ever. Yeah, it's tough.
That is a bad beat. Do you think I saw at the end there Tre'Davious White threw his helmet down at the ref after that defensive pass interference call? Did that helmet like roll over and then knock Bo Nix right in the ankle or what?
No, it wasn't that.
Did they? And they
That's
did
not
they
good.
throw a? Was that the one they threw an unsportsmanlike on?
Yeah.
Because they had the PI
Yeah.
and the late. Wow, so a late hit from Bosa.
But people are
Ish.
saying Josh Allen can't beat Pat Mahomes and can't beat Bo Nix with a broken ankle is crazy.
Wow.
I'm like, is there any? Is he for sure out, or is there like
No, he's out.
all him
Yeah,
up and like
yeah,
get
it's
him out there? A chance to go to the Super Bowl, like
Nah, it's
on a broken
he's
ankle. I don't
done.
think that's possible. But I mean, T.O. played in the Super Bowl on a broken leg.
yeah.
So
That's
probably
crazy.
we're talking Houston,
different.
either Houston or the Patriots going to the Super Bowl is what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I hope it's Houston. Man.
Well, we'll come back around to that. That's a great breaking news there, Alo. So I appreciate that. That was
course.
that's a huge thing. So Well, we are lucky because we got the Indiana fan, the Indiana man right there, obviously in his jersey. I see Alo, you didn't show up in the Hurricanes jersey. That didn't work out so well when you did that for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I did it last time. I knew you were gonna bring that up. That's why I didn't do it. You know what? I'm taking the role that the Hurricanes are taking and being the underdog, and I'm gonna be humble. Because last time I got excited, we got smacked. So yeah I'm chilling.
So Alo, why don't you get us started here? What?
Okay.
Sorry, give me that's just a crushing transition there. What does Miami need to do to win this game? I think most people agree that Indiana is the juggernaut, the wagon, the unstoppable train. But what does Miami need to do to win this game tomorrow? Or not tomorrow night, on Monday night.
Yeah, so it's no surprise to anybody that Indiana is the better team, but in football, you got one game. And we all know that the 2007 Patriots lost that Super Bowl to the Giants. Who was the better team? Obviously the Patriots, but they still lost. And I think the Hurricanes can come out here and win. What they need to do is what they've been doing. The defensive line with Ruben Bain, it's disgusting. And I'm not worried about the defense. The defense is coming. I'm more worried about what Carson Beck am I going to get? Because if we get the Carson Beck from the last playoffs against Ole Miss, it's going to be a game. But if we get Carson Beck where we get him against, SMU, a couple of those games, we're going to get smacked. So it's all up to Carson Beck, in my opinion. And I also think Malachi Tooney, I think he's a dog. I know he's a freshman, but he's huge. And the next big thing we need to do to keep Indiana off the field on offense is Fletcher needs to get the ball and run it a lot. I mean, we've been winning because of the run game as well. So yeah, I think that's what we need. But like I said, this isn't basketball. This isn't a 7-game series. It's one game. Yeah, if we played Indiana 10 times, they'd probably win 9 out of the 10 times, but we just need to beat them one time. So give me the Canes 27-24.
I think Mario Cristobal, and he's probably done this because he's a smarter guy than me. But when you look at Indiana, the teams that have given them trouble, Iowa and Penn State, Mendoza turned the ball over with those teams, and they made him uncomfortable. He has more touchdowns in this playoff, Mendoza does, than he does incompletions.
That's
and so
insane.
if they cannot get to him and make him uncomfortable, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah. And they say that defense wins championships, but let's get Tyler in here as well, because the problem with saying that is most people then think like, oh, Miami, they really lean on their defense. But when you look at it, in almost every metric, Indiana has a better defense just without the flashy names. And so, Tyler, why is Indiana the runaway train that cannot be stopped? And we'll let you boys go back and forth a little bit here. But let's get Tyler in here with the Indiana man. What do you got for us?
It's literally every phase of football. Cignetti has him running like a well-oiled machine. In the offensive side, you have Mendoza. You can try to make him uncomfortable, but then he can start to get the run game going. You've got Hemby and Black sitting there punching holes in defensive lines. And then on top of that, you're also going to have Becker and Surratt and Cooper, and they're all going to play their roles. And let's not forget the tight end Gronkowski. So they're all. It's kind of like pick your poison. You're good if you want to try to make Mendoza uncomfortable. That's fine. Start handing off the rock and let him open up the run game, and then that'll bring the passes down the field. You can go Becker over the top. And then on the other side, just like you said, the defense is playing just as lights out. Now, the caveat there is Becker's seen a lot of football, so he's, the disguises and stuff. We'll see how well he picks up on it. It's really going to come down to how Becker performs against this defense. They fly around. It's 8 hats to the ball all the time. And that's also going to give Miami trouble because they try to get their players in space and then let them make plays. And the defense just time and time again is flying around. One hits them, slows them down, and then the cavalry arrives right after it to keep causing pressure. So, and then the defensive line, let's not sleep on IU's defensive line. They have wreaked havoc in their games as well. So they make a lot of quarterbacks uncomfortable. They're great at stuff in the run game. The linebackers are flying around behind them. It's just it's going to be a tough team to crack because they're going at it in all phases.
Did I see something this week that Mendoza has a near perfect passer rating or QBR when targeting Becker? Something like that. It's like a ridiculous number of passer rating, I think, when he's targeting Becker this postseason. But it's crazy. I don't know, Booker, you had something there?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to bring up, I know I was talking about Miami's defense, and I mean, they had to go through Texas A&M, Ohio State, and Ole Miss to get to this position. So we posted a video. I don't think they're shaking in their boots over Indiana. They had to overcome a lot to get where they're at. But talking about the Indiana defense, they are top 2 nationally with 11.1 points allowed per game, whereas Miami is top 5 nationally with 14 points allowed per game. And so people are talking about that Miami defense quite a bit. I think that's their strength. The fact that we're not talking as much about that Indiana defense shows that they're just such a well-balanced team. Yeah. It's not just the defense on that Indiana side of the ball. So I think Alo is right on that. Carson Beck is the key here. He has to play lights out. Yeah, like no tomorrow to have a shot here. And it's possible, man. They have got, to beat Ohio State, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. That's a tough road.
It's going to be a fun chess match. When you got Becker versus Fisher, you have Fisher, the linebacker, running that defense for IU. You see him communicating. You see him talking. So, it's going to be a nice little chess match that we see between these two to get the offense versus the defense going. But, yeah, you just can't sleep on IU's defense. They cause turnovers. They wreak havoc. They do a lot of things well. So it's going to be a really fun game.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I didn't mention Indiana's defense because we all know that Indiana is overall well-rounded, the best team out there. My thing is, the thing that Miami does lack is their offense sometimes with Carson Beck. That's why it's important for me to say that, okay, in order for the Canes to win, we can't have the Texas A&M game where it's 13 to 10. That's not going to happen. Indiana and Fernando Mendoza is going to put up way more points than that. So Carson Beck, that's what I mean. He's going to have to come out and play like he did against Ole Miss because the defense is going to get stops. But if you expect them to stop them every possession, that's not going to happen. That's what I was saying.
And to give Beck credit, he's played really well in these playoffs. He's looked like the experienced quarterback. I think it comes down to me. For me, I just trust Indiana's defense to rattle Beck more than I trust Miami's to rattle Mendoza. But I think, Booker, you nailed it with Beck being the key. Is if on Tuesday, who are we going to be talking about? I think that's a great extra question there, Booker. Who do you think we're going to be talking about? Beck? Do you think we're talking about Mendoza? Who are we going to be talking about most come Tuesday morning?
I think we're talking about Mendoza. I think Beck has been inconsistent enough. Sorry, Alo, that if he has a hard game, people will be less surprised against that Indiana defense. Whereas Mendoza, if he continues to play at the level he's been playing, there's no doubt we're talking about Mendoza and this near, depending on what happens in this game, this near perfect season that this man has played. It's incredible.
Honestly, I was gonna say we might not even have this conversation because I'm confused. The Miami Hurricanes, that was Fernando Mendoza's team because he was born a mile away from the stadium, that's where he grew up. So I'm thinking, why didn't you offer this man a deal? I don't understand. We wouldn't even be in this conversation. We'd all be like, oh, national championship Hurricanes, Cam Ward 2.0, number one pick again. But hey, listen, you guys said, I think it's gonna be a great game. I hope it is. I'm pretty sure Tyler wants Indiana to win, but nobody wants to see a 31-0 blowout. Yeah, if that's fair to say. I mean, maybe not Tyler, but we all don't.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I'd be fine with a 50-point blowout, to be honest with you, Alo. We can run it up all night if they want to. I got no problem with that. Here's the one I think we might be talking about on Tuesday is the offensive line. And they kind of got, their roses at the Rose Bowl. And so they've been playing really well. If they find a way to stay sturdy, Mendoza is going to put up numbers. But we may be talking a little bit about that offensive line and how well they held up against that nasty defensive line that Miami has. So don't miss out on that one on Tuesday. They may be talking about that. And then exactly what you said, Alo, the latest conspiracy theory, I don't know how deep you guys go on the old X wagon there, but they're saying it's cheating. It's got to be cheating. They've tried every excuse in the book, and now they're talking about cheating. But I think it comes down to this, right, guys? We're in a new era of football, the NIL and the transfer portal. You can choose which way you want to go. You can be a pipeline recruit and try to develop over the time, or you can do what Sig did and just go get a bunch of players that have been there, see if you can gel them together, and then run with it from there. So it's not like no one else could have made these calls to these players and tried to get them over to their program in the transfer portal and try to run it like Signetti did. So do you think that's what we're looking at now, guys? Just choosing your way, what each program is going to decide to do, whether they're just going to look for transfers at the end or try to keep the recruiting train going?
Well, I think that's
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say it's an interesting question because you have, I mean, Dabo Sweeney is a perfect example of that. It's so against
you read my mind,
the transfer portal, and it just did not pan out for him. And he's finally thinking like, yeah, I think I need to engage in the transfer portal. But then you've got Lane Kiffin and his tampering and getting Ole Miss guys over there, and yeah, tampering. I said tampering. Like he just is cycling through. He reminds me of John Calipari with Kentucky basketball. Like just these guys are there for a year and then they're either off to the NBA or they're off to their next school. And so I like the way Curt Cignetti. I respect the way Curt Cignetti runs his deal because I think it's a perfect balance. He's engaging in the transfer portal, but he's also not creating a system where guys just want to leave after a year. He's creating a culture. He's creating a home that people want to be a part of. And I love that.
Yeah. I was thinking Clemson as well, because can Dabo adapt and overcome and adjust? But he's the poster child of like, hey, I'm just going to stick to recruiting and not Dabo in the transfer portal. And I think Clemson has taken a step back. Are they falling behind? I'm not sure, but I think the answer is you have to be able to do both. You still got to look 18-year-olds in their living room in the eye and say, hey, come to my school. And you got to go out and get a Josh Hoover and get the best players that are available, or you're just falling behind. And so, Ayla, what you got there?
No, I was just going to say, I agree with you, Kevin. I think you need both. A perfect example is look at Malachi Tooney. He's a beast. He's a freshman. And then you look at Carson Beck. Yeah, he's not the best quarterback in the country, but he's a great manager of the game most of the time. So it's like, and they had to pay him. So like even Cristobal said at the end of the Ole Miss game, I think they got like $6 million like he did. And he goes, just give it to NIL. Just give it to NIL. I mean, you have to. Like like you said, we're in an era where you have to do both. If you're against one of them, you're not going to be successful. And that's what's happening to Clemson. Exactly. He'll never be in a national championship again. Unfortunately, if he keeps thinking like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just
not walking through the door like that.
I think it's just an extension too. When you start a new job and you want to build a program, I think it's exactly what you were saying, Booker and Kevin. You're going to buy yourself some time with transfer portal players and, be able to get some win now mentality going while you're starting to get those recruits, because IU, like you guys said, are still recruiting. They're looking for 3-star, 4-star, 5-star to, get out of high school. But give yourself some buffer at the top with these veteran players that know systems. And not only that, but think about the locker room it could potentially create with those veteran players showing those young guys, this is how you train. This is how you get ready for Saturday. This is how you learn the playbook. So I think it's interesting how it's going to play out the next few years.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts on this Miami versus Indiana game before we make our predictions?
Oh, no.
I can't.
I got Becker going for at least one deep ball over the top. He's going to scorch that defense at least one time, and then I think Hemby's going to break at least one 30-yard run.
Okay. So back to that cheating scandal. So are they like? I mean, is Signetti juicing like PEDs helping him coach, or like what's? We don't have to get fully into the conspiracy here tonight, but that's where my mind went. I'm like, what? Is Sig's just too good of a coach that he's?
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty much it. They're basically saying it's unprecedented. It's never been seen before. This type of turnaround, it just doesn't make sense. Like no matter how you look at it, there's something that stinks about the situation that they got that good that quick. My pushback was that, there's never been the NIL in the transfer portal in the way it exists now. And then we had a first ever in this type of college football atmosphere, a pandemic year, which allowed players to stay a little bit longer. So you had kind of this perfect storm that brewed up that Kurt Signetti took advantage of, and now people can't wrap their mind around that type of program turning around that quickly. And so there's got to be something. There's got to be I don't know how. I don't know if it's Spygate. I don't know if it's this, but it has to be cheating.
Yeah. I just think it's incredible. I mean, it's been well said by every broadcast that they're on, but just how little 5-star players that they have.
Zero.
And to me, zero. So
crazy,
if and there's former 5-star players available in the transfer portal, I'm sure. And so it's like, you would think if he's cheating, okay, I'm just going to go get all the best players, quote unquote, but he's identifying like his players, bringing them in, the culture fit. He talks about character all the time. And I just think, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a scandal. Maybe it's Signetti's, injecting dudes with roids in the back, but I think it's just a masterclass of coaching and good example of like, he's paid his dues. He's waited. He's coached under other guys, and it's his time to shine. And I think we're all seeing that. And he's one of the best coaches across all leagues right now.
So good for college football. So good for college football because I mean, like I hire people in my job, my day job. I'm in charge of hiring for my team, and I look at resumes, and you can have a 5-star resume, but then I meet the individual and I realize they don't mesh with the team. They're not moving forward. I'd rather have someone with a lesser resume who meshes well with my team, because it's the team that moves forward. It's the team that gets the wins. And so I think it's great for college football to see that, wow, that actually works. Creating a culture where people like want to like fight for one another and love their program, that actually works. And so I absolutely love this for college football.
Yeah. I was going to say too, they compared him to Nick Saban a little bit, but I'm actually going to give him a little credit. I think what he's done is better because Nick Saban is by hands down the best coach in college ever. But I will say he's had a bunch of 5-star recruits. Yeah. He's had a bunch of special players on his team. Like, we don't think Tua is great in the NFL, but when he came in, he was a bunch of players. But what the Indiana coach has done to have no 5-star players and just come out there and go undefeated, and then now you're in the national championship. Yeah, I mean, you got to give that man his praise.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, and Saban's even come out and said, like, I'm a better coach when I have better players like that. He was unashamed about, like, I'm going to get all the best players and I'm going to beat you guys. And so, like, it's a crazy thing there. Tyler, any other thoughts on this one?
That's all I got.
All right, let's go ahead and make our predictions. We probably know where you guys are going, our fans here below, but Booker, who are you taking in this one? Why don't you kick us off? We've got Indiana's favored by 8.5 points. Pretty heavy favorite going into Monday night. Let's go against the spread since we know these fellas are probably taking their homer teams. Let's pick this one against that 8.5 points and who we think we're taking. So, Booker, you taking Indiana and the points on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to take Indiana. I think they've been the most complete team all season. I think Miami will be able to hang around early, but the balance that Indiana gives over the course of 60 minutes is just going to be too much. Pick your poison, as Tyler said earlier. I'm taking Indiana here. I'm sorry, Alo.
Tyler, who you got? They cover?
We're absolutely covering in this one. I just think it's going to come down to body blows. Exactly what Booker was saying. I think Miami will come out with a lot of fire, a lot of intensity. There may be some punting back and forth early on, but I think our defense, the IU defense, just gives enough trouble to Becker and that offense that it buys the offense for IU enough time to kind of break down that defense until finally some plays start to break loose, and then it just kind of is a snowball effect from there.
Yeah. Alo?
I'm taking the Hurricanes, of course. I think Carson Beck is gonna continue what he did last game against Ole Miss. I know it's a completely different team, but I think he's gonna keep playing well, and I think the defense is gonna stop. I don't know if they technically played a good defense. We know not a good defense like Miami yet, so I think it's gonna like Tyler said, they're gonna be punting back and forth, and I think that's the chance for Carson Beck and them to step up. So I think that they are, and I do think what's going to happen in the second half, it's going to be a little bit of a higher scoring game because they're both, adjusted to the game. But I think it'll be 27-24. Miami wins on a walk-off.
Wow. I'm taking Indiana. I think they cover the script, though, not like the NFL script. The games are rigged, but the script for Miami, and they have the team to do it, is play defense and multiple 10 to 12-minute drive. Just keep Indiana on the sideline, keep them cold. That's, I think, your only hope. And thankfully for them, Miami's built to do that. I mean, they've got like a four-headed monster at running back. Send Michael Irvin out there to give a couple carries. Like, that is the method. Keep the ball out of Carson Beck's hands. Long, slow drives and muck this game up. If it's a track meet, I think Beck will make too many mistakes in a track meet, and Indiana's proven they can capitalize. That's how they can do it. I don't think they will. I think Indiana's gonna take this one fairly easily. It might come down to a late Indiana pulls away, but yeah, I think they cover the 8.5. All righty. Can't wait for this one. We should have planned like a little watch party or something, but
yeah,
maybe for next year. Maybe we'll talk about it after the show if we want to try anything for that. So, all right, let's move. There we go. All right, so thank you guys for taking time out of your day to join us on this episode. Again, if you love talking sports, building community, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That helps us out a ton. We're here every Saturday night at 6:17, like we talked about before the show, plus or minus. Again, we thank you for your support, your comments. We really love it. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to move along into our NFL section. Alo talked about it in the open there, a little bit of college football, but huge news out of the NFL Bo Nix. But yeah, that is a crazy fact there for the Broncos. Any other updates or thoughts on Bo Nix and the Broncos?
I honestly think that if he didn't get hurt, I think not only would have went to the Super Bowl, I think they would have won the Super Bowl. That's why it's tough because he was playing at such a good level. Like, he was playing like really well. And then on top of that, the defense is just disgusting. And I thought, if you put Bo Nix out there, I just think right now he's better than CJ. And I think the Broncos defense is better than the Patriots. So that's why I would have picked the Broncos to go all the way, and I think they would have won the whole thing, to be honest.
Here's going to be my hot take. I don't care if it's the Patriots
Jared Stidham. I mean, go ahead.
You never know.
I think the Patriots probably are going to end up facing them. I think that Broncos defense is good enough to still hang in the game in the next round. I think it's not just going to be a giveaway and Bo Nix is out and it's over. I think that defense is good enough and Sean Payton's cooking enough in this playoffs already that they find a way to keep it close and try to steal a win from the Patriots. I don't know that they can go up against whatever NFC team comes out, but I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to sneak into the Super Bowl still.
Yeah. Jared Stidham, 29 years old, from that New England tree. He's been around playoff games. I don't know how many games he's started or played in, but he's clearly experienced. You gotta think that late game magic that Bo has been doing all year is going to be a little bit tricky for a backup quarterback to come in and do. But any other thoughts on this game? So Bills Broncos, we had the late before we predict the two games tomorrow. We had the late penalty. Booker, we'll give you the floor here too if you want to vent, rage, let it out, man. Bills are out for the year. Josh Allen not over. My question for you is this will lead the witness a little bit. Should Sean McDermott get fired, in your opinion? Yay or nay?
That's a really hard one, man. The amount of success that they've had in regular season, in the playoffs, minus this, I mean, I know the Super Bowl is the goal and a Super Bowl win is the ultimate prize. And you have to, if you have that type of success in the playoffs, the expectation is that you have a Super Bowl ring at the end of one of those. I like Sean McDermott. I like the way he coaches. I like the way he plays. The big issue to me is not Sean McDermott. Like the defense every single year for the Buffalo Bills has been a weakness. I know they had the number one pass defense this year, but that run defense, especially it was highlighted last week against the Jaguars. I have no idea how we pulled that one out. ETN was chewing them up. And I think this game against the Broncos would have been much more lopsided if the Broncos they focus more on the rushing side of their game. So I actually don't think Sean McDermott is the problem. I keep him there for stability. Making that change now, I think would be a bad choice. But you got to somehow find a way to shore up that defense, because other than that, I feel like they're one of the more complete teams in the NFL. And maybe that's just my bias being a Bills fan. This game to me was one of the more heartbreaking ones, and I don't feel good about what happened to Bo Nix at all. That's absolutely, yeah, that's heartbreaking for Broncos fans, especially after such a huge win. But to watch the Bills come back after, I mean, they had 3 turnovers and they just continued. They're hard to kill all season. Lots of comeback wins, and then to go down like that with some penalties, and then wherever you stand on that Brandon Cooks catch, no catch, interception, it's just it was hard that they didn't even really take a look. I mean, maybe the way they have everything set up now, they're able to look and make those determinations. But that's the biggest play of the game, in my opinion. And for them not to like take a little bit more time is kind of asinine to me. So it's just really disappointing. I need to find a way to not let Bills losses affect my mood so much, because deep down, guys, I'm crushed. Happy to be here with you, but man, the Bills just can't get it done. I saw last thing I'll say, and the amount of times that the Bills, like the amount of playoff games they've won and the amount of like consecutive playoff berths that they've had, any other quarterbacks like Josh Allen, any other quarterbacks who have done that have at least one Super Bowl, and the Bills just cannot get it done. They just cannot get it done. The injury bug continues to kill them, and their defense continues to kill them. So that's all I'll say. I'm still ride or die Bills Mafia. Heartbreaking way to lose it. So,
I mean, a couple reasons to fire him. You mentioned the defense. He's a defensive-minded coach, and so that's usually, like Tyler and I were talking before the show about Steichen staying in Indiana, but he's developed quarterbacks. He's done what he said he would do. It didn't work out, but he got the best out of Daniel Jones this year. I don't know if he got the best out of Phillip Rivers, but you gotta stick to what you're good at. And so if you're a defensive minded coach and your defense is struggling, that's certainly one strike. I think they said it on the broadcast, but they're the first team to win their division 5 straight years and not make it to a Super Bowl. Like, it's hard when you have you have the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't think that's really super up for debate right now. I think most teams would agree, most people would agree that Josh Allen is the best talent at the position. Some young guns coming, but eventually the buck stops with him. And I just think it's just, especially with the Ravens letting go Harbaugh, Tomlin getting the axe, or not the axe, but retiring. I just think the grass isn't always greener, but maybe they promote Brady and let him take a run at it. I don't know if that's the move, but usually somebody's got to pay for not making it at least to the Super Bowl. So Tyler, Ayla, what do you guys think? Should Sean McDermott get fired?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that was on Sean that game. The defense kind of played pretty decent at points. I'm I'm gonna put the blame on Josh Allen. I'll tell you why. Josh Allen is not an average quarterback. He's a superstar quarterback. He is, like you said, I still think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. But as of right now, because Pat Mahomes is out, yes, he's the best quarterback. So I will say this. He had Don Kincaid wide open. You are a superstar quarterback. You need to make that throw. And we talk about it. We say, why is Patrick Mahomes the best quarterback? Because he makes the difficult throws and he makes the easy throws. And a lot of times we get on Josh Allen because he turns the ball over or he's not accurate at times when the game's on the line. And that if Don Kincaid catches that and he throws it on the money, you don't have to worry about the Bo Nix injury because the Bills are in the AFC Championship. And I think because he's that big of a name and he won the MVP last year, I think that falls on him because that had nothing to do with the defense. That's on him.
Yeah.
The podium, I saw a little video before we got on here, and Tyler, I'd love your input as well. Josh Allen basically in tears at the post game presser. I think he knows that this one's on him. And we look at the end of the second half, him trying to play hero ball, that ball 6 yards away from his body, gets stripped, Denver kicks a field goal. If that doesn't happen, we're not where we're at because it's a touchdown rather than a 4-point game, and where it's a touchdown point, a 7-point game, and then Denver maybe doesn't score a touchdown, and we're not even here. And so I think he does take responsibility, maybe more so than in past years. He was not the Josh Allen. I think the pressure got to him. He was not the normal Josh Allen. What do you think, Tyler? What about Sean McDermott?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the same way I feel about Steichen. I understand the stability and you just run it back, especially coming off this loss. Like you said, Josh Allen knows that that's on him. And I said it to a buddy of mine, my brother-in-law, a few years back, that it seems like Josh Allen every single playoffs is good for one crazy boneheaded turnover where he just drops the ball, fumbles it. If you look back, it's just this thing that has plagued him. But the flip side, the counter argument to that would be when Josh Allen has put them in position to win, the defense has let them down, and that is supposed to be Sean McDermott's thing. That's what he's supposed to do, is when Allen gives them that lead at the very end, he can get the stop that they need to get off the field and call it, and they get the W. And that's the thing. Neither one of them, in the moments that they need to be the person, the other one has let them down. When McDermott has got the stop or got the moment, then Allen usually has some type of crazy turnover that lets him down. And when Allen puts him in a position to win, then McDermott lets him get down the field and kick a field goal or something. Like Mahomes goes, 80 yards in 13 seconds and kicks a field goal. So I don't know. It feels like something's got to change. They got to do something to mix it up. They've tried to bring in the veteran edge rushers and things like that. I don't know what the next thing it is that you could try besides switching out McDermott. But I don't think they will. I think they'll just run it back.
Well, Lake, appreciate you. Lake Willis here on X is saying, problem is the roster. GM hasn't done anything. He should be fired. McDermott should stay. I mean, Bean is regarded as one of the better GMs. They've brought in some good young talent, but I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough thing. What do you think, Alo?
No. I was just gonna ask you guys all a question, but mainly Booker because the Bills is his team. If you don't, minus the offensive coordinator that you guys have, of course, Brady, and who's left. Do you think that the person that's out there that's candidates can do a better job than Sean with the candidates that's left? Because John Harbaugh's gone. He's going to be on the Giants. I mean, that's the way I look at it because, we let Mike McDaniels go. Who's a better candidate right now? So I'm just asking you because obviously, Josh Allen's it's his future with that hiring if they did that.
Yeah, honestly, that's part of the reason why I'm don't move on from Sean McDermott. I think Sean McDermott is a more quality head coach than anyone who's left. If I had my druthers though, I would say if we were going to let Sean McDermott go, it would only be because Mike Tomlin said, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I don't want to move on from the NFL. I just need a new place to coach. I love Mike Tomlin, and he's kind of, to me, Mike Tomlin is the Curt Cignetti minus like just the constant like elite level turnaround success that Curt Cignetti has had with Indiana. Mike Tomlin is all about relationship. I mean, he had guys in his locker room crying when he said he was going to move on from coaching. Like, that doesn't happen. I don't think anyone in the Miami locker room was crying when Mike McDaniel was let go. No, like, so I think that's the type of coach that Buffalo and the ownership in Buffalo and the people of Buffalo, I think they appreciate that type of character and quality of leadership. And so I would say the only way I would be okay with McDermott leaving is if Mike Tomlin's like, I made a mistake, let me get in there.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say something outrageous, but Tomlin out of retirement. But if you could pull off something crazy and put Bill Belichick in Buffalo, that would be an all-time troll job of the Patriots. And like, I think there's a lot of people that be signing up to come coach Josh Allen. Is all I was gonna say there.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, man, Booker, I didn't mention Mike Tomlin because he said he wants to be with his family and stuff. But if you get Mike Tomlin, I've seen this man take the Steelers to the playoffs with Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett. If you give that man Josh Allen, I guarantee you would have won this game. And you'd be in the NFC Championship, and you'd probably be in the Super Bowl. I mean, Mike Tomlin is a hell of a coach. I don't think he's ever had a losing season. And he's had some trash quarterbacks. So you give him Josh Allen, which we talk about, top 3 quarterback in the league? Yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah.
No. I mean, and he is familiar with getting oversized quarterbacks who don't like to go down into some Super Bowl situations. So I'm sure he would be licking his chops at Josh Allen.
Happiest person in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know what we have to do to make that happen, man, but I would.
All right, let's move along here to our 2 games tomorrow. We've kind of been hinting at them, but let's pick these games against the spread. First up, we've got the Texans and the Patriots in New England. New England was finally a bad team, and now they have a 14-3, looking like a team going to the Super Bowl. Favored by 3 points. Texans have best defense in the NFL. They are looking fierce. Who do you think wins this game, and can the Patriots cover the 3 points? Tyler, why don't you take us away?
You can call it an AFC South hater pick. That's perfectly fine, but I just think Vrabel is cooking, and Drake May knows how to ball out. And if there's anything the Patriots know how to do, as much as I hate to say it, it's win at home when it matters in the playoffs. So that stadium's going to be loud. That defense is going to be flying around. CJ Stroud has not looked his best this year. Nico Collins is not going to be out there. The defense will probably muck it up for a little bit, but I think the Patriots win this one very, very comfortably, probably by 10 points, and put the Texans away for the year.
Yeah. Alo?
I was going to say, the crazy thing is CJ Stroud has looked horrible, and they still won 30-6. So and yeah, it was against the Steelers, but I will say this: I am going to pick the Texans because besides like the Broncos and them, I think they have the 2 best defenses in the league. And I will say, last week Drake May struggled. He did have a couple turnovers, and against the Texans it's different. So I do believe that CJ is going to play a little better. And even if he plays average, that's the crazy part. Even if he plays average and becomes a game manager, they will go to the AFC Championship. And yes, it's hard to say because he's been struggling, but I think he does it, and I think the Texans pull it off and win by a field goal. I do.
Yeah, this Texans, if you look back, the Texans have been in the divisional round the last couple years. Everybody talks the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, but I think this might be the Texans' time especially with Knicks going down. This defense is ridiculous. I heard it once again today that I think it's the Broncos and the Patriots have played the easiest schedule. The difference, I mean, both teams have obviously they've won. You can only play the games in front of you, and so your record is what what it is. But I just think this Texans defense is going to be getting after whatever quarterback they're playing against. And so in a messy game, Christian Kirk turning back the clock. I like the Texans to go on the road here and spoil Drake May's first. It's his first playoff game. Is that right? Am I saying that correctly? So yeah, I think the Patriots are on the verge of another Super Bowl. I don't think it's this year. So give me the Texans to cover and probably win this game in Foxborough. They've been knocking on the door. I think this is the year they at least get it done, get to the Super Bowl, especially with Josh Allen out of their way and Bo Nix out. So Booker, who are you taking in this one?
I'm going to pick with my heart now because it's been shattered into 1,000 pieces as of about an hour ago. I cannot handle Stephon Diggs getting a ring with New England. I cannot count me out for, I need like a year sabbatical if that happens.
Yeah.
And just time away from X. So, and I think just being, I'm a Bills fan. I'm not going to pick New England. Houston, the way their defenses have been playing, they fly around. So fun to watch. And I think Keyshawn Butte with the wide receiver room over there in New England said he wasn't worried one bit about that Houston defense. Like Houston needs another reason to go out there and shut them up. So give me Houston to win this game. And I won't be surprised, though, if New England ends up doing it. I think they're the all-around better team because of C.J. Stroud and his inconsistencies. But if C.J. Stroud can put together a game where he's not turning over the ball and that Houston defense does what that Houston defense has done all year, Houston's going to come out with the win and make it to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, not having Nico Collins is a huge loss. I mean, you saw it with the Broncos in that game. Sorry to bring up a sour subject here, Booker, but he was shut down the entire game. But when the money was on the line, when the game's on the line, you go to your big dog. And so that has me a little nervous on my pick of, hey, if this game is close down the stretch, can the rookies, can Christian Kirk, can Schultz get it done with Stroud? I think Stroud has the talent. I know it's been up and down this year, but he's got the arm talent to win a Super Bowl. We will see. So, all right, let's move along here. Next game, and I don't know why that's saying Texans and Steelers on that graphic. Let's go to that one.
The Texans are playing twice, man.
The Texans are not playing the Steelers, so that's on me. That's on me. I own that.
It's correct though on the vertical.
It is correct on the vertical.
We got Rams versus Bears, so you're good.
Rams versus Bears, 4.5 points for the Rams, and I know it's kind of this line's been going all over the place, but the Rams favored on the road. Below freezing temperatures, maybe below zero temperatures by game time. Who we liking in this one? Ayla, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to pick the Rams. I actually think the Bears are going to pull it off. One thing is for the first 3 quarters, they're lost, and then the fourth quarter, it's like magic. But I will say this. The Rams have showed me, I thought the Rams defense at the beginning of the year was like elite. And they've showed me that they could get scored on by Bryce Young. Now, I'm not saying he's not decent, but he's not elite. So if he can, pass the ball around that defense, I think Caleb Williams can as well. So I think Caleb Williams and the Rams it's a high scoring game. I'm going to go 31-34 Bears on a walk-off. Yeah, I just think with Ben Johnson, dude, he's a mastermind on the offense. And if your defense isn't, if you don't have the Texans and Broncos defense, he's lighting you up, I think. Yeah. But Matthew Stafford's a dog too. I think it's Caleb Williams' time, and I'm a big fan of him, so I want to see it.
But I'm a little disappointed in this game and in the Bears this year because my son was finally not going to be a Bears fan anymore, and now he's one game. If they go to the Super Bowl, then I'm just not going to be able to stop him from becoming a Bears fan.
Are you calling your son a bandwagoner?
So that's a little unfortunate. No, he was with the Bears through the suffering, and now they're going to be good, and so he's gonna be like, I might as well stick around. So come on, Rams. But everything I saw this week about the cold weather games, teams from LA, even Matthew Stafford in the cold, has me real nervous for the Rams. They are the better team. I think the defense is legit. I think that Panthers thing is a little bit of styles make fights type of deal. where the Panthers just play for whatever reasons, their matchups, their coaches have the Rams number. But man, I'm just nervous about that cold weather. That Chicago atmosphere was electric last week. I will give the Bears that. Those fans have been hungry for playoff football, and they showed up. That being said, give me the Rams to win this game, and I think cover. I can't pick the Bears. You guys picked emotional on the last one. I got to pick emotional on this one. I need the Bears to lose. Not that I'm that big of a Rams guy, but I need the Bears to lose. Booker, who are you taking?
Can you raise? You don't have to. None of you have to disclose your actual age, but can you just raise your hand if you're over 30? Okay, so literally everyone. It is going to be, last I checked, 18 degrees with a wind chill of like 1 to 0 degrees. Matthew Stafford is 37 years old. I think youth is what actually wins out in this game. The thing you can't control is the weather. And the Bears are hot. It's at home. Those fans are like, I don't know what do you get like a ram horn in the cheese grater and you're grating that in the stadium? That's what needs to happen. But I'm taking the Bears here, man. Like the weather is going to be the game changing portion of this game. A 37-year-old in 0-degree weather trying to stay warm. Doesn't matter how thick those jackets are. That is frigid cold. Caleb Williams is on a heater. He is the Iceman. He's at home. Ben Johnson is nuts. I mean, Chicago's just been waiting for this. So I'm sorry to you. I'm thankful that your son is going for the Bears. I'm taking the Bears here, man.
Tyler, who are you taking?
Yeah, listen, full disclosure, my brother-in-law is from Chicago and is a massive Bears fan. So we've already been talking about it. Booker read my mind. It is going to be cold there. Not only is it going to be cold, it's going to be windy there. So you're talking about this. I think I'm going to go against J-Lo here. I think this turns into just a rock fight. I don't think it is high scoring. I think the wind is a factor. And I think that takes away one of the things that the Rams want to do, and that's pass the ball with Matthew Stafford. I don't know that pass game is going to be as effective in this game because of the weather. And not only that, but like I said, the run game with Ben Johnson, he's kind of been figuring out ways to get it going. And once he does, Williams can do enough off that play action to get the ball down and you can get some electric plays. The one thing that does worry me, though, is if they do find a way to toss this rock around, that Chicago defense, they're not going to be able to play man coverage. And it's going to be a lot of zone. And it's going to be whether or not they actually are watching Matthew Stafford's eyes or if they're just going to play their zone, because the man is a no-look pass waiting to happen about every 7 downs, and then he likes to throw another no-looker. So it's going to be a lot of dagger across the middle, and it's just that's what it's going to come down to. If the wind and getting hit at 37 in negative degree weather and how long you can hold up with it, and then that ball is going to feel like catching concrete. So Devontae Adams is also up there in age, and I don't know how much he's going to want to get hit out in that cold weather either. Puka Nacua, he's probably looking to actually want to take a concussion. That man's a maniac. Yeah. I think he wants to get hit a few times like that. But yeah, give me the Bears in this one, not only to cover but to win in a rock fight.
Yeah. I've got an idea here, fellas. If I'm sure there's plenty of Rams administrative coaching members watching this, Sean McVay. What they need to do is get Stafford one of those visors, but on the inside of it, like print on like a beach with some palm trees and stuff. It'll be just fine.
Yeah. Two, I don't know what their props are on this one, but 2 Michigan guys I think that are going to eat in this game. Blake Corum, they got to get the run game going, and then don't look now, but the Bears' best pass catcher is Colston Loveland. He has been,
I agree,
near the best tight end in football the last 4 weeks. Like every time you turn on the TV, he's making plays, and it seems like they are running the offense through him, Travis Kelce light. And so, yeah, I'm really happy about that for my Campus to Canton team. and he is a monster. So I like both of those guys. But yeah, Puka, he's going to be out there probably in a wife beater pregame, just
Absolutely.
probably no shirt, just ready to roll.
Another quick
BYU's
note
days,
on the weather too, fellas. The Rams went with the late arrival strategy again. This is the other thing that I discussed with my brother-in-law. So the Bears have been practicing in the cold all week. No heaters, bring it on. This is going to be the game. This is how we want to practice. Rams have been sipping margs at the beach in LA at the nicest club until they just fly in tonight, try to acclimate and get in there. Like they're trying to do what they did with the overseas game. I don't think it works the same this time around.
Yeah. I agree. I got a hot take for you guys. You ready? This is a Kyle Monangai career game. You talk about a physical runner who wants to punish the guy in front of him. No one wants to get run over in 0-degree weather. That man is going to feast, and he's going to make all of those Rams taste those margs. It's going to come up again. So
yeah. No, absolutely. And I think it should be a good game. It should be a good game. I hope it's not the Dolphins Chiefs from a couple years ago where Tyreek Hill had that frozen mustache.
You got to bring that up.
Sorry, Alo, but we appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to spend with us. All the people in the chat, we didn't get to put all the comments on the screen, but appreciate all the action over on YouTube, on X. As always, give us a subscribe on YouTube. We're here at 6:17 every Saturday. You can follow Tyler at Mr. Diesel 31, Alo Leagues, TSP Booker, TSP Kevin. And yeah, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you joining us this evening. Have a good
617.
Is that a
617? 617. 617.
I was actually happy to not be on episode 67 because I get enough of that from my high school students that I don't need no part of episode 67. So I'm glad you guys handled that. But all right, we'll see you guys. Peace out. Fellas.